What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today we are using this Yveldon Groudon team that I brought to the Skydrop Local, which was a local in my area, and made it to the finals with. I ended up losing to Jacob Lintner, who I invited to the tournament, so a little bit salty about that, but very happy for him. I'll make sure to link his channel down below, as well as info for that event, as well as any upcoming events, because it was just such a blast to play with a bunch of people and experience that. So a little bit about this team. This is a very strong composition, right? It has done very well, and this was sort of a hybrid team built by a combination of, I'm gonna get this wrong, Philip Idzak, who got top 4 at the Liverpool Regional, as well as Banfox's team, which got top 4 at the Milan Special Event. Obviously, we did go back to Groudon over Slowbro, and like I said, this is a very strong team composition, with Zhejiang finishing in, or winning the Milwaukee Regional with this same 6. So just talking a little bit about the team, right? It is Yveldon, so the main idea with Yveltal is we are just trying to get a very strong option that's also very bulky, right? Like, there are options on what item to use, and I think that the Assault Vest makes the most sense, just having that extra bulk. We still hit really hard thanks to Dark Aura, and more importantly, with that bulk, we are able to survive, in certain cases, a Glacial Lance from Calyx Ice, which did come up very relevant in one of my sets. So next up, we're running Swords Dance Groudon. I think it is pretty standard in what it does. It has Citrus Berries, so barring a crit, we should be able to always take 2 Behemoth Blades from Zacian, which is pretty crucial as it does let us set up very strongly, and also is our sort of weather changer, which can be a huge deal in a lot of things. So next up, we have Venusaur. So this, I think, is a really, really cool version of how to run Venusaur, and it is using the Banfox's set of having Helping Hand. And I think Helping Hand next to Regieleki is just absolutely monstrous in terms of damage. There are really not a lot of things that can take a Helping Hand Max Lightning from Regieleki, so you know, that's really great. We also do have Weather Ball, and we obviously do have the ability to set up that Vine Lash if we need it with the Sun. Focus Sash lets us survive a little bit longer, so that's always important. So next up, we have Bronzong. Bronzong's really great, right? It is mainly our answer for Calyx Ice. It is able to just start setting up, and in a lot of situations, it is just sort of a win con in the fact that it can get really bulky and just deal a ton of damage, and your opponents really can't do much about it. Next up, like I said, we do have Regieleki. This is Life Orb Regieleki, just trying to hit really as hard as it can. Go fast, go hard, make it so your opponent can't do anything. And then finally, we do have Incin. This is just the standard Incin that I use. We're going with Safety Goggles, just to have a little bit of a better trick room matchup, but we do have already some good answers into Amoonguss thanks to Regieleki and Venusaur. So we do have the code in the screen. We'll have the paste in the description. And with that, let's just get rocking and rolling and move into the first game. All right, battle number 1, and it is Mewtwo Groudon. It is Mewtwo Frostmoth, or Grimmsnarl Frostmoth, Mewtwo, Venusaur, Incineroar, Groudon. So, I like Incin, Yveltal, Groudon. I like Bronzong here. This is gonna be tricky because of Frost. I don't really know what Frostmoth can do, and you should always fear the unknown. I think that this is sort of our best option. Double Dark really makes it so the Grimmsnarl can't do much, which I think is going to be pretty important. But it will, I think, come down to just a lot of different factors, and also the fact that, like, I don't know what to expect. As we are going to see a lead of Mewtwo Frostmoth. So this is fine with me, right? Because of the fact that we do just have the ability to go for a Snarl straight off the bat. So the thing is, I know that Frostmoth has Shield Dust, and Shield Dust means that if I go for a Fake Out, it's still going to be able to move. So that's actually not really ideal here. I would much rather, in this case, just go for a Parting Shot onto the Mewtwo and go for a Snarl and try and bring out Groudon, right? Groudon has the ability to put in a lot of work. Also, I think if we can get set up versus the Mewtwo, that puts us in good shape, as we are going to see a max, which I am expecting just to be Mewtwo. It could be Frostmoth, in all honesty, but it is okay. It is going to be Mewtwo, so that is going to be a little bit safe. I mean, I think Frostmoth actually is a pretty decent max option, right? Having Hailstorm into Yveltal, but let's see here. We are going to see the Frostmoth go for a Protect, right? So this is really sort of the best case scenario, as we are going to be able to fire off a Snarl, and more importantly, we're faster than this Mewtwo. So we are going to get that special attack drop immediately before it's even able to fire off its first max move, which is sort of huge for all things, and also really interesting given how fast Mewtwo is, as we are going to see the Airstream come out into the Yveltal, but thanks to that Snarl drop, it's really not going to be doing that much damage, and we are just going to be able to immediately fire off a very big parting shot onto this Mewtwo, really sort of mitigating how much damage it can do. So now the big question, right, is where do we go from here? We do have options. I do want to actually go into Bronzong, I think makes the most sense, because we can start setting up for the Groudon in the back, right? And I don't really see a reason, right, to switch out my Yveltal. At this point, it is -2. We also do have the really important ability to go for an Oblivion Wing into Frostmoth. I don't know if we get recovery because of how everything works, as we're going to see the Hailstorm here, which is actually a little bit scary, as going to do a little bit more than I would have liked. Not going to lie, I really would have preferred significantly less damage. Frostmoth going to go for a Blizzard here, so that might pick up, that probably is going to pick up the knockout onto Yveltal. So it is, yeah, unfortunate that we are going to lose Yveltal in this scenario. But at this point, right, this is a -2 Mewtwo. We can fire off an Iron Defense on Bronzong to get those defenses going. And I think at this point, we can afford to bring out, what's it called? We can afford to bring out our Groudon, and I think really sort of utilize it as a max option. I do want to just go for a double protect in this scenario. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to take unnecessary damage from this Mewtwo, especially if we can make it so it takes less. Also, I want to point out Groudon the Vintage Beauty. I thought that was really funny, especially because I really don't like Groudon Shiny, but I did hunt really hard for it, and I hope other people find it as funny as I do. So I think at this point, I do just want to go for a Protect here, as well as a Protect on Groudon. Like I said, I don't really see much of a need to go for anything else. I just want to stall out the last turn of Mewtwo's max. We can then start going for a Rockfall onto this Frostmoth, and then start firing off Quakes to really make this Bronzong as bulky as possible, as we are going to see up the Hailstorm, right? And I'm hoping through this Protect, not going to do much, especially at -2, as yeah, Groudon really going to be able to sort of take that damage really, really well. We are going to probably see what's it called, a Blizzard being fired off as yeah, this Frostmoth really gonna try and put in some work here, but we're trying to stop it as best as we can. I very much would like to Rockfall in this scenario. I think having access to what's it called, the knockout onto Frostmoth is more important, because I am very afraid of what it can do. So I think that we can do that, and then we do have I think a pretty strong option going forward. So I do want to go for another Iron Defense here, and then I'm going to Rockfall the Frostmoth, just with the idea that we can reduce how much damage it's going to do. We also can get the knockout if it's Focus Sash. So I think that sort of has the potential. I'm guessing this is going to be like a double Hailstorm. But taking advantage of the fact that Groudon is going to be maxed and Mewtwo is at -2, I'm hoping that we can sponge the hits well enough to survive pretty comfortably. And then also, I think we are setting up for a very strong Bronzong endgame, right? Getting it to +4. We should be able to very easily, yeah, we are going to very comfortably take that. So that's always good to see. We are going to take the second Blizzard, which is doing quite a bit more just due to the fact that there are no drops on Bronzong, or on Frostmoth. Also, oh, we don't get our Citrus Berry, which I think is important to note as a result of the Unnerve from Mewtwo. So that really coming into play here, right? We aren't going to get that sort of extra little bit of chip. But more importantly, even though Frostmoth does have the Shield Dust, we are going to at least be able to set up that Sandstorm to get the knockout onto this Frostmoth, which does get rid of a very big threat and also make it so your Mewtwo now, right, is kind of stuck in this position where it's at -2. It doesn't really want to do anything. It lost access to Blizzard. There is the option of Psystrike, but I think, like I said, this does put us in a very strong position, right? Like Bronzong having +4, being able to now recover continuously thanks to the fact that there's no more hail, hopefully being able to set up a Quake Boost, as we are going to see the Venusaur come out. So Venusaur definitely is a little bit scary for several reasons. I do want to try and set up a Trick Room though, and go for a Quake onto this Mewtwo, just with the idea that we do have Safety Goggles Ensign in the back. So if we get put to sleep, it's not the end of the world, as we are going to see Shadow Ball come out. So that's definitely a little bit scary, right? Bronzong not taking that super well, but Frenzy Plant going to come out, and unfortunately it looks like we are going to lose our Groudon here, but I don't think it's the end of the world, because at this point we do have access to Incineroar once again. We are going to see that it is Life Orb Venusaur, so this Venusaur not going to be able to attack this turn, which means we do have a very strong position, right? We can just double up into the Mewtwo if we need to. We can also get Bronzong up to +6, which can be very huge. So I think once we eliminate the Mewtwo, right, we are going to be in a really good position. So let's bring out Incin here. I think just going for pure damage at this point is what's going to be the best use of our time, right? Especially because of the fact that Venusaur cannot attack this turn because it just went for the Frenzy Plant. So I think we could have played that a little bit better, going for a Protect into a Trick Room, but I thought we were going to be in just a little bit of a better position. So let's just get some chip onto, actually no, let's get up to +6, and then I do want to Throat Chop. Actually, I'm gonna double up into Mewtwo. I'm actually really afraid of it surviving the Throat Chop, so I don't want to take that chance. We are just going to see the Mewtwo Protect. I think that is obviously going to be a very smart play, right? Like, you are just sponging that damage, so we have to kind of figure out what to do from here. I think going for a Throat Chop as well as a Protect with Bronzong is the ideal play. We have revealed we are Safety Goggles on Incin, so that is a fairly big deal. I think we're fine to actually just double up into the Mewtwo again, right? Like, worst case, what? You put Bronzong to sleep, bring out Groudon. I do have the ability to Parting Shot, or I can just Flare Blitz into the Venusaur to immediately knock it out. So we have options there, and Bronzong should win that 1v1 versus Groudon, as we are going to see very big damage coming out onto the Mewtwo, even if not very effective, right? Like, still putting in work at Throat Chop. Going to come out here and finish that Mewtwo off. So we do have to be a little bit wary of Earth Power, right? We are going to see the Sleep Powder come out. It is going to go into Bronzong. I don't think that that's a big deal. The thing we really have to be worried about, though, is I guess if Groudon has a Fire-type move. So that can definitely still put on pressure. But if you're going for a Fire-type move, like, you have to choose, right? You're either going for a Fire-type move to do damage into Bronzong, or you're going for Precipice Blades into my Incineroar. So I think either way, the position sort of is favorable. But I think at this point, right, I do want to try to KO this Venusaur. I am just going to click Iron Defense. It is a mandatory turn of sleep, so not really anything there. But I do want to fire off this Flare Blitz into the Venusaur, not expecting a Protect. Okay, Incin's gonna live, which is huge here. I think, like I said, Bronzong can win this 1v1. I do want to click Iron Defense again, and then go for a Flare Blitz onto this Venusaur, right? You can go for if you go for the double and you get it. I need to not say things. I really just need to not say things. Please miss the Incin. Let's go for a protect to try and stall out another turn of sun. Please wake up. I've called 2 things wrong. I've called 2 things right. I would like this to also be a right call. But I think right at this point it is worth seeing what that... Okay, that's cool. We're going to see a weather ball come out. We're going to see a frenzy plant. So, interesting choice. Okay, very fair in terms of damage. Let's see if there's a fire move. We are going to see a fire punch. So, question is, how much is that going to do? We are going to live. So now is the question of, do we wake up this turn? I don't think we can win at this point because you can just go for another frenzy plant. We can potentially go for misses. I think that that's sort of our best bet, as we are going to see a fire punch come out into the protect. So going to gain some recovery back. So unfortunate, it did come down to a double protect in this scenario. I think even with Bronzong, what's it called? Even with fire punch on Groudon, I think we could have won, what's it called? That 1v1, as we are, we're going to get our own double protect. So you still can do enough damage with Frenzy Plant to pick up the knockout, but it's fine. The sunlight is going to fade, so that sort of is going to help us. I think what I want to do at this point is, okay, so I do need a Frenzy Plant miss. I need a Frenzy Plant miss into a Trick Room. I think that will let me protect, and then I can go for damage. We are going to see the Frenzy Plant unfortunately come out, and this should pick up the knockout onto Bronzong. So a little bit unfortunate for sure, that double protect. I mean, my opponent went for it. It paid off for them, and so they were unfortunately able to take that one. But I do think that it went really well. There were just adjustments that could have been made. The Frostmoth definitely, I think, caused us to play a little bit differently. Also, the fact that it didn't take any drops means it was able to just do so much damage into Yveldon and sort of put us on the back foot. And I think that I could have probably gone for like a Sucker Punch and played things a little better. But it is what it is. Let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is going to be the standard Zacian Kyogre, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Grimmsnarl, and Zapdos. So I really like Regieleki Venusaur here. I think it puts on just a lot of immediate pressure with Groudon and Yveltal. Right, I think that that's fine. Right, if you lead Zapdos, we do have the ability to go for a Helping Hand Max Lightning, which should be able to pick up the knockout. We can also use Venusaur if you choose to lead otherwise to get that residual damage going, and I think this sort of gives us the strongest position to be in. I do need to be a little bit careful of my max options, but all things considered, I think it's fine. Also, if it is Thunder Wave Grimmsnarl, I think, we can bait them into going for Thunder Wave onto Venusaur on lead, which will let us go for big damage with Regieleki, but I think having access to that huge rising voltage turn 1 is something that hopefully can play a big role in how this goes, but like I said, I think it will very much depend on what my opponent chooses to lead, as we are going to see a lead of Zacian Kyogre. So I'm very fine just to go for damage onto okay, so there's a lot of tricky things that can happen, right? Because of the fact that you can I'm gonna lightning the Zacian. I'm gonna lightning the Zacian and go for a Helping Hand onto Regieleki. You can't max guard, so we are gonna do massive damage. I'm hoping for an Ogre switch out, right? It is very obvious, as we are gonna actually just see no switch. So this suggests to me that you might be going for a max Kyogre, which could be very scary. We could see a Hailstorm into a Behemoth Blade onto, what's it called? No. If you Behemoth Blade, you are getting knocked out. So that's always really nice. We are going to see, okay, so we are going to see the max Ogre. I think that makes sense. If you go for a Protect, you probably, you can't pick up a double knockout, obviously. So we are going to be getting massive damage off. I'm hoping you target into Venusaur, expecting it to max right though for a Hailstorm, because that will let me get massive damage up. Let me switch into my Groudon to change the Sun, as we are going to, let's see if we see a Protect come out here. We're going to see no Protect, so just immediately going to knock out the Zacian. Really, it didn't stand a chance. Crit's completely irrelevant. And so now the big question, right, is where are you going to target with this Kyogre? I really hope it does go into Venusaur, expecting a switch into Groudon, as we are going to see just a Geyser. So that's a little bit scary for sure. It looks like it's definitely going to go, yeah, into the Regieleki. Regieleki is going to go down, so we are going to trade Restricted for a Dynamax, which not necessarily the best trade, in my opinion. But we can bring out Yveltal here. Yveltal can go for a Snarl, and we can switch Venusaur out into Groudon just to try and put pressure on that way. And so let's kind of see here. I am worried about a what's it called, a Fake Out user, because that can sort of cause problems, as we are going to see Incineroar. So speaking of a Fake Out user, Incineroar is going to switch in here. So I think what we do have to do is we have to go for a Snarl, and yeah, we have to go for a Snarl and swap into Groudon. I think that sort of gives us the best chance of making a comeback. I think we could have gone for, I think the Helping Hand Max Lightning into Ogre also was a good play, as we are just going to see Groudon get big. I think, yeah, if we had done that and had been able to pick up the Kyogre, like, things could have been a lot different, because now they still have their max. But we are going to see the obvious Fake Out. It is going to go into the Groudon, so that's actually really huge, because we're going to be able to fire off a Snarl, getting just a little bit of chip on to both of these Pokemon, as we should see probably a Hailstorm come out. But I'm hoping with the lowered special attack, we are going to be able to take it well. We are going to see a Geyser, so that's totally fine, right? Like in the Sun at -1. Yeah, that's going to do very, very, very little damage overall. So being able to sort of drop this Kyogre special attack is huge. I'm going to go for a Snarl, and I'm going to switch back into Venusaur at this point. I just need to basically try and neutralize this Kyogre as much as possible, and also take advantage of the fact that Incin no longer has a Fake Out, because I think, yeah, very happy they went for the hit they did there. I'm hoping at -2, even in the rain, we can survive the Max Geyser. If not, right, I think we're setting up a very strong endgame for Groudon, so hopefully that can kind of play a role, as we should see, yep, another Max Geyser going to come out here into the Venusaur. So that really puts us in a strong position, right? Because it means that we do have access to the Sun later. We also do have now the ability to go for Helping Hand onto our Yveltal to get damage out, and whatever comes in, right, is not really going to appreciate this scenario. So we are going to see Rillaboom as my opponent's last Pokemon. Rillaboom definitely a little bit scary, but we do have access to Oblivion Wing as well as Helping Hand, so that should really sort of put us in a good position. I'm fine to leave in both of my Pokemon for now. I think Rillaboom coming in also means we can go for a Sleep Powder onto this Kyogre. So I do want to go for the Oblivion Wing here, as well as a Sleep Powder onto this Kyogre, really just trying to put it to sleep and also do some work. We're going to see the Kyogre swap out into Incin. So I think it makes sense, right? My opponent really just trying to put on pressure with those Intimidate cycles. And, you know, like, it is a decision. I think if we can put the Incineroar to sleep, right, like that also really helps us, because it means we don't have to worry about a Fake Out. It could be Goggles. We are going to see it is not Goggles, so that definitely suggests to me you are Shookaberry, so that's really huge, right? Like now we threaten a lot more onto this Rillaboom as well as this Incineroar, because of the fact that we can go for a Weather Ball, which is going to be Water type. So huge there. I'm going to fire off this Oblivion Wing for sure, and then I'm actually going to help. I'm going to Weather Ball the Incin. I think, like, no matter what, this is a good position to be in, as we do fire off the Oblivion Wing. I'm hoping for a 2-hit knockout, as, yep, it is going to be a 2-hit KO, so that's really going to be huge for us, being able to recover fully. Also, Ensign has a mandatory turn of sleep, as we will be able to fire off this big weather ball, hopefully similarly doing roughly half, but this is not Life Orb. Okay, so yeah, we are going to be able to potentially pick up a double knockout. We are going to see the high horsepower come out onto this Venusaur, taking it very well. It should be to the point where it can survive a grassy glide thanks to the grassy terrain. And so what we can do now is go for another Oblivion Wing, get Yveldon nice and healthy, and then try and KO this Ensign as well with a Weather Ball. So feeling very strong about things. Oblivion Wing right into the Rillaboom, as well as a Weather Ball here. We could see a Protect and a Switch out. I don't think that that's necessarily the end of the world, as we are going to see, yeah, a Grassy Glide into the Venusaur. Venusaur is going to be able to hang on, as the Oblivion Wing will be able to finish off this Rillaboom, which is great. And at this point, right, we can switch into Kyogre. I mean, not switch into Kyogre. We are forcing out the Kyogre, and we can switch in Groudon to maintain the Sun, which means that Yveltal should be in just a very strong position. We also do have Venusaur being able to provide a lot of support. Nice critical hit. I don't think it mattered. It might have mattered, but I mean, it is what it is. We are going to, like I said, see the Kyogre come back in. I think what we want to do at this point is probably Snarl. We do have Venusaur still that can fire off very big hits, but I think, like I said, I do want to play it a little bit safe for now, going for a Snarl to lower that special attack, set up the Sun, and really sort of neutralize this Kyogre. So set up the Snarl, switch into Groudon, and then make it so with continued pressure, like this Kyogre really isn't going to do anything. We can then set up Swords Dance to go for a Precipice Blades, and like I said, we will have Venusaur in the back if we need to. So Groudon the Vintage Beauty, its very ugly little fruit roll-up is going to come out here, setting up the Sun for us, and let's kind of see what's going to happen here. We are going to see, yep, the Snarl going to come out onto this Ogre, just getting that special attack drop, and with that and the Sun, right, like what is it really going to do? We are going to see the Water Spout come out, spread damage, so even, yeah, like look at that spread damage. That was a super effective hit on Groudon. It's doing absolutely nothing. We're going to continue to drop its HP with Snarl and its special attack. There's also no more grass. And it looks like we're gonna see an unfortunate disconnect from our opponent. We'll probably never know what happened, but overall, I think a really solid second battle, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is Necrozma Kyogre. It is Necrozma Kyogre, Wigglytuff, Amoonguss, Jinx, and Dragapult. So Regieleki is fast. Regieleki, Venusaur, Groudon, Yveltal, I think is probably our best bet. Let's, do I want Ensign is tempting because of Trick Room, but I don't want to give Wigglytuff a boost. I'm going to do Yveltal, Venusaur, Groudon. Bronzong doesn't really do anything here. Regieleki doesn't actually really do anything here. I'm going to bring Ensign. I don't love Ensign as a choice here, but I think it offers enough into the Trick Room mode that it like has to be worth considering, right? Like if it's Focus Sash Amoonguss, right? I really need to deal with it. We are going to see a Wigglytuff Jinx. Jinx takes damage from the Sun, I think. So I would like to Vine Lash the Wigglytuff and switch into Groudon. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna be really honest. I think I'm hoping they were predicting an Incin lead. Yeah, I don't know what any of these Pokemon do. We're just getting like all the Pokemon that like are weird. We're in Ultra Ball right now, so like it kinda makes sense, I guess. But let's see, right? We're gonna set up the sun. We could see a switch on their end into Ogre, which would be annoying. This could be some like weird skill swap stuff where you get Ogre to have dry skin, so it like recovers HP, but we have the ability to, what's it called? We have the ability to bring out the sun. So I think you lose health with dry. I don't even know what Jinx does. We're gonna see a max. So this is, I'm thinking it's Wigglytuff. I'm hoping it's Wigglytuff. It is gonna be Wigglytuff. So that, I don't know if I'm actually hoping it's Wigglytuff. I don't know what Wigglytuff can do. I know that Jinx can put stuff to sleep, so that is definitely a little bit scary. We're gonna see a fake out. Okay, that's a good start. You going for a fake out means you are not going for a sleepy move. We're gonna be able to get some nice chip onto this Wigglytuff, and more importantly, that's okay. Well, bye Venusaur, or not bye Venusaur. So that's huge, right? We're gonna get a bunch of chip onto both of these Pokemon, and I think we can start firing off Precipice Blades, right? Like I'm gonna go for a Vine Lash here, as well as a Precipice Blades, just trying to do as much damage as possible. I think Jinx outspeeds Groudon, so I do have to worry about a potential Lovely Kiss, which definitely, you know, is not ideal. But if we trade maxes, like Jinx for Wigglytuff for Venusaur, I don't know if it's a fair trade. But you know, it is a trade. The issue though is it does make it a little bit awkward for dealing with Ogre, but we are going to be able just to get a good hefty chunk onto this thing. We are unfortunately going to get hit by that Lovely Kiss onto the Groudon, which means we are going to be put to sleep. So definitely sort of an unfortunate scenario there, right? I think that we would have been able to pick up the knockout pretty easily. Worst case, as we are going to be able to survive the Starfall. So that's actually a really good scenario for us, because what now happens is, what's it called? What is Starfall? Fairy? I don't know what Fairy does. Okay, so what I want to do actually is I want to KO the Jinx and try and wake up with Groudon, right? Because I think there are a lot of things to fear, as we are going to perfect see a max guard come out from this Wigglytuff. We are unfortunately only going to get one turn of Vine Lash Residual on whatever wants to come in, but I think that that's fine. I forget. Oh no, Groudon is faster. And so what we do have is we do have the ability potentially to bring out what's it called? Necrozma, but I don't think that that's an issue, right? We do have Max Flare, so that also should help us, as we are going to see Dragapult come out. So not really what I expected. I think we just want to get rid of Wigglytuff, because then we do have Yveltal in the back, and I think Yveltal really is just in a very strong position. So I want to say a Weather Ball will be enough to finish things off. And then I just want to go for a Precipice Blades, hoping to get a single target. Dragapult should be slower than Venusaur, but we do have to worry about a potential switch from the Wigglytuff into the Kyogre to change the weather, as we're luckily not going to see that. So we will be able to connect this Weather Ball. I think, like I said, once we get rid of Wigglytuff, we're in a much better position with Yveltal being able to go for things like Snarls, as we are just going to see a Fire Blast come out onto this Venusaur. So that actually really works out for me, right? As we do get a free switch into our Yveltal, as Groudon unfortunately is going to stay asleep, but I think that that's fine. We do also get some really nice chip onto this Dragapult, so that's also going to be really nice. I think, yeah, we can bring out Yveltal here. I do want to, if it's Kyogre in the back, switch out into, what's it called? Switch out into my Incin to permanently set up the Sun. As we are going to see, yeah, it is going to unfortunately be Ogre. I think Snarl is the right play here, especially because we did see that special attack from the Dragapult. We are obviously not going to get the drop, but I think, like I said, it's fine to Snarl here and then basically bring out Incin as fodder with the idea that we can reset the Sun, hopefully wake up and get a Protect off. So kind of banking on that as we will get the switch in. I don't think Dragapult gets any ice type moves as far as I know, but it is also, like, once again, a Pokemon that I don't know super well beyond the fact that, like, it won Players Cup and it sets up Colossal with Surf. So we'll kind of see where this is going to go. We are going to see just a Hydro Pump come out. So this is a really interesting Dragapult firing off into the Yveltal. Yveltal taking it fairly well, especially because of the fact that we do have that Assault Vest, as we will be able to fire off a Snarl, which is going to be huge. We do just straight up knock out the Dragapult, as we don't even get a crit. We do get the crit on the Kyogre. So that's a really solid chunk of damage. It suggests to me that you have no sort of bulk on this Ogre, as a Water Spout will come out. Yveltal going to take that. Not as well as I would have liked, but more importantly, right, like, we are going to be able to set up the Sun, which is going to significantly reduce the amount of damage you do. So I think what I want to do is play it probably a little bit safer. I think I want to go for... I'm trying to think if I want to go for an Oblivion Wing as opposed to a Snarl. I think a Snarl is fine looking at how much damage it did. And then just go for a Precipice Blades here. It does come down to a little bit of an accuracy game, but we are going to be able to fire off a Snarl, right? Like, this Ogre is almost at 50%. Groudon is also going to wake up and is faster, more importantly. This is a very slow Ogre with not a lot of bulk, as Precipice Blades just going to pick up the knockout. So that obviously ended up working out for us. So overall, I think some really interesting games featuring a lot of really unique Pokemon that I really haven't seen and kind of had to respect on ladder. And I'm very curious if we can see this team to kind of get some idea. Unfortunately, we don't, but definitely make sure to check out the team. Definitely make sure to check out Jacob's channel for winning and just being overall a really good person. And also, I'll make sure to post details about any upcoming events, so look out for that. And yeah, with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.